All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto you. How about Shema, Shah, by Shema Kakwadash, the bonus of the apostle of the great millstone. Shalom to the Akimat, preaching the word of sincerity and the truth. Yeah, I'm gonna do this lesson on endurance. Keeping your mindset strong, staying mentally durable. Having that spiritual stamina always up. Because the times are gonna get tougher and tougher and tougher. It's gonna keep knocking on us. Knocking at our spiritual doors, whether it's collectively as a unified camp or individually. In most cases, Satan likes to fuck with you individually. After you break out of camp, after you get done fellowshipping, Satan will come through, whether it's a vessel, whether it's your woman or kids, or or it's built. It's a demon. Whatever it is, it's an evil spirit that plagues you, and then you get bothersome. And then you start to, you vent. It depending on the type of bullshit that you're involved in. You'll think about it constantly, and it'll, mess with you. But we gotta be like that. That like oil, so to speak. Just like when you rub yourself with oil or certain things, like boxers. They'll put that certain lubricants on their face, so like when somebody strikes them, it's not as effective. You got to be like that, and really the oil is the scriptures. Oil is really can be used as a means of protection, so we gotta know how to what is it boxers also use that analogy, stick and move, roll with the punches. You got to roll with those punches. When those punches come to strike you, you got to know how to roll, man. Jab, jab, roll. All right? Dodge. Knowing how to endure. And like I said, it's going to get harder and harder. And we see these economic tragedies that's taking place. And it's all been prophesied in the scriptures. And it says that it's going to be a lot worse. So I have this term, endurance. Endurance is the fact or power of enduring an unpleasant or difficult process or situation without giving way. Right. So we're going to have to go through these different unpleasant and difficult processes and situations in order to be tried as the elect. As it is written that gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. All right. If you see the process of gold has all kind of unpleasant material coated on the external on the external side of the gold. You'll see all kind of rocks and debris, and what you have to break up. You have to basically extract that gold from that debris, and you have to basically smelt it. You have to melt it down and then rebuild it with certain alloys to get your different gold, whether it's 24 karat, 12 karat, I think 16 karat, your different carats of gold. And then that's when it's a fashionable piece. You got to polish it. It's so much when it comes to the process of actually putting gold around your neck, as well as silver, these precious metals. And you see them shining, but when they first got found, they got found through the harshest of conditions. You'll see these individuals that are do gold, find gold for a living, and they go through the dirtiest of terrains, man. They got to get their feet dirty. They got to get their hands dirty. They have to dig constantly. It's an unpleasant situation. But that gold nugget is worth all the labor, all the toil, all the, the blood, sweat, and tears, the traveling, the expenses. That's why that's a investment. So likewise, all the things that we go for is going to pay off, and we have to believe it's going to pay off. So we have to endure. All right. And if your stamina is getting low, your spirit is getting weak, you know what to do. The scripture says to pray to Yahweh Shema Shah, fast, fellowship, exhort one another daily, cut on a video, like I said, pray those demons off, man. And really think rationally, man, because these demons want you to think irrational. They get Jake from basically moving irrationally in irrational situations. That's how niggas get caught. But it says also denoting or relating to a race or other sporting events. Did not Paul liken this path unto a race? All right. It says that they run all 1 Corinthians, I think, 9:27. All right. But it says, so strive I not as one that beat up the air. He likened it unto a boxing match. He likened this unto a race, which this is likened unto a boxing match, likened unto a race. You know, likened unto a triathlon, all these different sporting events, because you have to have what? Strong durability. You got to be consistent. You have to be conditioned, all right, in order to make it to the finals, make it to the championship, and actually get the victory. The scriptures speak about that victory, all right? So it says that takes place over a long distance. This is the long haul. This isn't no short sprint, you know. This is a long distance run. And if you know anything about long distance running, of course, you don't aggressively burst at a long, like triathlons. Those men, you can even see how their body composition is. They don't carry a lot of weight. They're not like professional bodybuilders. They're very sleek, like a roe or a gazelle. Their bodies are structured for those long distance triathlon style races. Whether they gotta, go canoe and they gotta actually bike, they gotta do these transition from one sporting event to the next, and their stamina is on 1,000, man. They have to eat a certain way, they sleep when they need to. They make sure they're not too over involved in bullshit, whether it's clubbing, whether it's worldly attendance, because they're not gonna be in tip top shape. And it's truth, you want to be in tip top shape, day in, day out, day in, day out. You don't want to have those, all right, 1 day, 2 days a week you high, the rest of the day you got demons on you. You see these different sports athletes. I was watching a video with LeBron James. Spend 1.5 million on his his physique and his body, whether going through the hyperbaric chambers, massages, his meal regiments, his training, and that all makes him, onto this point, as everybody sees, he's one of the greatest athletes to ever live. And it didn't just come overnight. It came through endurance, all right, and consistency. But it says takes over a long distance or otherwise demands great physical stamina. Right, so we have to have great physical stamina. No, well, not physical, but you should have good physical stamina because physical actually goes into the spiritual. A lot of times you'll be sluggish in the spirit. A lot of times there'll be a lot of demons in the food, and you're constantly eating, whether it's a lot of dairy, a lot of carbs, a lot of, toxic meat, sweets and all these things. You got to really think like an athlete, stretching, actually, I'm saying it's physical as well as the carnal, stretching, actually, eating a certain way, sleeping a certain time, all those different things actually pull and tug, your spirit. And you have to be in tip-top shape if you want to be, of the elect, if you want to endure unto the end. A lot of men, they fall short because they start to overindulge in the pleasures of this world. We got to be spiritual stoics, man. All right, 1 Corinthians 9:24. Know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. Right, we just went into the fact that it's a long haul distance where you actually have to keep your stamina reserves basically adequate so you can actually make it to that finish line. And we all desire to make it to that finish line. Just like everybody, when everybody initially starts the race, everybody wants to make it to the finish line. And if they were to make it to the finish line, of course, they want to be number one. They want to be victorious. But the achievement is determined by what you did off the, like you say, off the court, what you was doing in the background. Were you working like you was trying to actually make it to the finish line? Were you praying? Were you fasting? Were you committing yourself? You have to commit yourself fully to this, man. And that goes for myself too. This is an exhortation as well as, a light rebuke. We got to get better. We have to endure. We have to get stronger. It's essential. not only for ourselves, but for the men around us. All right, verse 25. And every man that striving for the mastery is temperate in all things. Right. So if you're striving to be a master, you got to be balanced on all levels. Like I said, how you eat, how you deal in the world, knowing how to balance that to a certain level. The scriptures speak about restrictions, man. And we have a lot of restrictions because what? Hey, the scriptures speak about even in Timothy being instant in season, out of season. So this is year round, and we got to always be instant, constant, ticking, clocking in, not clocking out. All right. When we off the highways and byways, still working. That's why the Apostle Hart put that decree out, a video a day, man. But he said that, I was, excited about it. Like, all right, yeah, that's pushing me through the spirit. Lord will not maybe do 2 a day, if, 2 or every other day or something like that. Cause we gotta push, man. We in those times, man. We are in those times, and if we're not pushing as hard as we can, Satan gonna cap on that. Idleness is the devil's playground. He gonna start running rampant in your spirit. He gonna make you doubt. He gonna make you lose faith, and then you're gonna end up falling out. All right. And it says, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. And we know what we fighting for. All right. This is spiritual. This look, it ain't no physical trophy. All right, that we see at the end of the line, man. It ain't like we see tangible things. Hebrews 11:1 speaks about faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You could call us crazy. You could call us lunatics. Scripture says that we're fools for Yahweh Shah's sake. Verse 27, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. Right, and we don't want to be castaways. We don't want to be outcasts. We want to be cast in. The Lord gave us, baited us in this truth. And the scriptures speak about the parable of the kingdom of heaven. It's like as a man that actually caught fish, and he caught some good, caught some bad. We want to be that good fish, man. That good fruit. So we have to produce good things. And we have to involve ourselves and be wrapped, with, the things that are righteous. Because if we, keep tapping into bullshit and folly, like I said, that's going to really take away from your stamina, take away from your spirit. If it's not adding, it's taken away, plain and simple. So we got to add. This is the tabernacles of David that's being restored and being re-risen. And we got to build upward, all right, not tear down. So this is just a short lesson I just wanted to go into through the spirit, that building that spiritual durability, which endurance goes into abdodo, which means to make hard, pursuing 2 Timothy 2:3. That's also a good scripture to, the third verse and the 4th verse. All right. So I want anybody giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shema, Shah, Shema, Kakodash, double honor to the apostle of the great millstone. Shalom, Akim.